Oh no, I like this sweatshirt. Did I get any on me? No? I think I'm good. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to redesign some more Sonic OCs. If you're unfamiliar with how this series works, let me explain. You guys submit your characters, I tell you what I like about them, I tell you what I might change, and then I redesign your character based on said changes that I would make. This is part number 8, and we have 4 more characters to redesign, so without further ado, let's get started. All right, our first character comes from Bet Arts, and they have submitted Spark the Biometal. Shout out to Bet. We actually got to work together on some artwork for a fan annual story, so shout out. I actually really like this character. I really like this icon or like this marking on their head right here. I think that looks really cool. I really like this color palette also. I like how there's sort of like this sort of electricity, or maybe it's some sort of aura that's associated with them, which is really cool. I like this also, how apparently these yellow markings can also expand depending on the amount of energy that they're using. So whatever this energy that they have control over, I think it's cool how there's like different elements of their character that can change, like the bracelet and the markings. So I think this is a really, really, really great design here. And there isn't a whole lot that I think I would change really. I think if I were to pick a couple things, I feel like the color of the boots is kind of, I don't know, it doesn't really mesh well with the rest of the color palette, I would say, but I'm not entirely sure what other color they could be, but we might kind of figure that out as we go. We might even try some different designs entirely with the boots as well. I kind of think something maybe a bit more pointed might be better, just because there's a lot of elements of the design that are very like sharp and very kind of pointed. And then I might try some different quill shapes, just because I think this is just looking a little too Sonic-y, and that's kind of the problem with a lot of characters that are either a hedgehog or use Sonic as a base, which is you don't really have a whole lot of options, I feel like, for quills, or at least not a whole lot of options that I think look good. But if there is one mission that I have with this redesign series, it is to take a hedgehog character or a Sonic inspired character and come up with a different quill design that actually looks unique and also looks cool at the same time. So maybe this is the character that we'll do this with. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. So one idea for the quills that I thought of is, what if maybe it's kind of the same sort of shape as this marking? Maybe it kind of comes up like this, and then maybe there's like kind of a smaller quill right here, and then it's kind of maybe less like an SBO, more like a shadow, where it kind of comes up and then back down. See, that just kind of looks a little too shadowy though. Maybe having it curved down is maybe the better option here. So like maybe it kind of comes down like down here, and then kind of like back here. Maybe there's a little bit of length to it, kind of like silver. Not horrible. Like maybe this is what we run with. Maybe instead of this smaller one curving up, maybe it kind of just sticks out like this instead. I think for now, let's go with it. Let's go with it, and then maybe we'll try something later if I'm not really vibing with it, but we'll see. But now let me try drawing like the marking in the middle now. I think from this angle, it's kind of tricky, but I think for the most part, this is probably what it would look like. And then now that I've drawn the marking, I want to try something with the quills now. Maybe we have something kind of like this. Kind of has like a blaze thing going on right now. And then I'm wondering, and from this angle, you might not really see it that well, but maybe there's like a longer quill kind of running along the back. Maybe it might kind of appear on both sides like this. Like I'm trying to make it so that like it's kind of mimicking this part of the marking right here. So like if you were like looking at the character from the side, the quills would kind of look like this. So you'd have like the one on the top and then the 2 longer ones. And then I guess it would kind of look something kind of like that. But then again, yeah, that might be a little overkill. I think, you know what? They have a back spine, so maybe that's just what it'll be. I think the gloves are really cool. I think something that could be cool, again, The marking is just really cool. I kind of just want to use it in a lot of different places. And I feel like using it on the glove here, kind of like, so it has like a silver thing going on. I think that could look cool. So maybe it kind of, you kind of have like the little point right here. Yeah, I guess it would be kind of tricky because you got like the long sort of spike there. So maybe what could be cool is that maybe, and this might be better if I do it with the other hand. What I'm thinking maybe for the top spike is that maybe it runs sort of along part of the middle and ring fingers. Like it kind of clips into like part of the inside. I know that might not make sense. So maybe it might be easier if I show it on the other hand over here. So what I mean is like, what if maybe it kind of comes up through part of the glove right here? Maybe something like that could be kind of cool. But then now that I'm thinking about it, that might be kind of hard to maybe draw. Like maybe for certain hand open poses that might look kind of weird. I don't know, will it? So I guess it doesn't look that bad. Because again, when you think about it, how many poses are you going to need to draw where you need to have your Sonic character making the Spock sign? So I don't know, maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was. Now for the shoes, again, I think it might be cooler maybe to try something with a bit more of a point to it, but I did like the design of the boots that you already had. So I think we're going to keep a lot of what you did have and then maybe just kind of change it to be more of like a pointed design. Like we can keep sort of like this front part here, and then we can have the shoe come down, and then maybe it just kind of comes down to the front like this. And maybe there could even be like a little line going through the middle. And then maybe we can add like a few little lightning bolts kind of on the side right here. And here you can kind of see the lightning marks a little bit better from the side here. And now that I'm looking at the quills again, yeah, still not a huge fan of them. So, I don't know. This is tough. I'm trying to think like what could look good. That would also look kind of like a little different too. What to do? All right. Hear me out on this one. This might be a little crazy. So let's make this a little bit longer at the top. So it comes down to like right there. Let's add another Sonic-y sort of quill coming out this way. And then this quill comes down like this. Ooh, okay, hold on. Yeah, we're cooking now, I think. We're cooking. Maybe just make it just a little bit thicker at the top right here. Okay. I kind of like this. I think it just needs to be a little bit thicker. Ooh, okay. Hold up. We might be onto something. I think something like this maybe is what we might go with. I think I might have just made a breakthrough, chat. Ooh. I think I got it. I think I got the brain blast. So now that we have kind of like these longer jagged quills, I think if we kind of take that sort of pattern here, kind of just do that, and then they kind of look like this at the bottom, I think this could look really cool. And then obviously it's kind of hard to see it from back here, but I think we got something. And then even if you want to keep this idea of them expanding more when there's more energy stored, you have a lot more room to sort of work with to make these even longer and have them crawl even up higher. So I think this is what we're gonna go with. And then might even make this a little bit longer in the back too. Actually, wait, hold on. I want to try something real quick. Ooh, okay. All right, chat. I think we got it. I think this is what we are gonna roll with. So let me outline it and color it. All right, Spark has been outlined, and I also decided to add the colors, the original colors from the original design. And like I said, the original color palette actually isn't too bad. I don't really have many problems with it. I did say I might potentially want to change the shoe color. I think what might be cool What if maybe we take the orange from the eyes and maybe that could be the shoe color? I mean, that doesn't look too bad. I could kind of roll with that. I think it also might be better too, just because it kind of makes the shoes maybe stand out a little bit more relative to sort of the mostly cool green colors. Just to kind of give it a bit of it like a warmer pop maybe. And I think that looks good. I also just realized I forgot to color in the little dots on the gloves. We definitely want to keep that. I also decided to just keep the colors just one solid white instead of having this black and white sort of thing going on. I took the gray and decided to make that the whole color of this like cuff right here. Actually, one thing that might look cool, maybe what if we take like this darker reddish color maybe? Ooh. I actually might like that a little bit better. And I think this is what we're going to go with as our final redesign. So to quickly recap what we did differently, after a lot of trial and error, I think this is the quill shapes that we are going to go with for the redesign. I just thought it was worth maybe trying something that might be a little bit different than sort of the Sonic style quills. I know you added some more of them back here to maybe make it a little bit different, but I kind of wanted to try something a little bit more unique, something a little bit more out of the box, something that maybe someone hasn't really done yet. To my knowledge, at least. Maybe there is someone out here who's tried this before, but at least to my knowledge, I don't think there has been. I also changed the shoe design a little bit to something, again, I think a bit more pointed. Just, I feel like it kind of fit this sort of like jagged sort of look a little bit better, like with all like these corners and sort of the sharpness to it. And then I also wanted to change the color as well. We also changed up the gloves a little bit to also incorporate this design that was on the head. And then they're not shown, but these like energy markings on the wristband right here, those are going to be kept. They're just not shown because they're on the backside of the hand, and the backside of the hand is not showing in this pose right here, but those would hypothetically be here as well. So yeah, this is my redesign. How do you guys think I did? You guys can let me know in the comments. Thank you, Bet, for submitting your OC, and on to the next one. All right, our second character comes from Metal Fan, and they have submitted Scar, the Great White Shark. He is a pirate from the Soul Dimension, and he has been sealed in the depth of the sea for years. And he has killed and ate his pirate team to survive because he's a great white shark that attacked their own kind. He has his untrained waves of disaster where he uses water like how Knuckles does with the flames of disaster. And yes, he is evil. Well, that is quite the interesting backstory. I would say you have a pretty good start overall. I like how you included the gills because they are a shark. I don't really see that with a lot of shark characters, so nice that you added that in. I like these cool like weapon things that's attached to their gloves. I'm assuming that's how they use their waves of disaster powers, so that's pretty cool. I also kind of like the scars that you added on the chest right here. My thing with characters like this where you're basing them off of an animal that is pretty big, I feel like you really got to give this character like a larger, more intimidating and muscular build. Not only that, but I know this character is supposed to be evil, but like, I don't know, nothing about the character here really screams evil. This looks like a very friendly smile, despite the jagged shark teeth. So I think we need to kind of make him look a little bit more intimidating as well. But the colors aren't too bad. I'm not sure if great white sharks are this shade of blue. Maybe we would probably want to go for more of like a lighter gray, possibly. But that's just kind of a minor thing. But let's see what else we can come up for with this character. Definitely got to make sure I draw this muzzle right, because I'm pretty sure in the Sonic universe, shark muzzles actually look a little bit different than some of the other muzzles. Main thing being, I don't think the sharks really have noses. They kind of just have nostrils. And I think the muzzles are a little bit wider too, if I remember correctly. Definitely going to give them the more menacing, evil, angry looking eyes too. And like I said, I did like these sort of spiky thingies on the hands. They're just gonna look gigantic because his hands are now gigantic. Scar's gonna leave some nasty scars on whoever gets in his way. And I know he has these like thick gray like cuffs, but I'm kind of imagining him kind of having sort of like a, almost like a vector style cuff. Just not, I don't think it would be that big relative to his hand, but something just kind of like in the similar, in like a similar fashion. Now that I'm looking at this, it kind of looks like he's flipping us off. He's not flipping the bird, he's flipping the shark at us. Now, originally when I was sketching the body anatomy for this redesign, I was thinking of giving Scar some like kind of werehog style shoes, but now I'm kind of wondering, what if maybe he doesn't have shoes and maybe they're more kind of like a Razor the Shark thing where it's actually just like the fins or the flippers. Like, honestly, that doesn't look too bad. We might change our minds later, but I think for right now we're gonna keep the no shoes. And like I said, I did like the scars on the chest, so I think we can keep those. I might not make them like blood red though. Probably make them more just like a, maybe a dark gray, probably. Slightly less violent and slightly more Sonic friendly, if you will. And then of course, I also do not want to forget about the tail. That is kind of important. So I'm liking how this is looking, but right now he's also looking a little naked. So I think we need to give him some pirate accessories. First and foremost, we're gonna add a buckle on this kind of wristband cuff thingy. And then I think along with said belt buckle, let's just add some studs around the little wristband thing, because why not? I think that'll look cool. So I can't really tell if that is more pirate or more emo pirate. Emo shark pirate. Emo shark doo 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 doo. Emo shark doo 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 doo. All right, that's kind of cool. Now, what else can we add here? I think maybe adding some kind of necklace would be cool. So maybe like goes down like yay far, and then maybe what it has is maybe little miniature versions of this thing, possibly. I think that could be kind of cool. And then now that I think about it, he does have a scar over this eye right here. Maybe if he is a pirate, well, we give him an eye patch. I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, if there's a clear injury over his eye, I think it just kind of makes sense. One more thing I might add. I know I said I wasn't going to, but I think I am at least going to give him some sandals or some kind of footwear. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna give him just some wooden kind of sandals for his flipper feet. Okay, I think I am feeling pretty good about this design. So why don't we outline and color it, and then we'll see if I want to maybe give them some different colors, but we shall see. All right, I looked at a great white shark and they indeed are not blue, they are gray. So I might play around with a more gray color palette with just like some splashes of color. Now I know you could make the argument like, oh, hedgehogs aren't blue or echidnas aren't red. And to that I say, counter argument, it's my redesign and I can do what I want. So I'm wondering if, what if we take this shade of blue and maybe just dial back the blueness. Like, I feel like this could be a good color to have, and then we can add just some splashes of color to sort of add color. We will add color to add color. That is what we're gonna do. Color in the buckles right here, and then right there, and there, and then yeah, let's make the little studs yellow as well. Why not? I think I kind of want to take the red that you used for some of these scars, and I might make that his eye color. Let's maybe take a darker gray and have that be the scar color maybe. Yeah, that kind of looks pretty good. Then we can make these that color there as well. Let's see how this reddish brown looks for the sandals. That's not bad. Can kind of mess with that. And now I'm kind of wondering what we can do to maybe add, well, I know one thing we can do, and it's something that you actually had in your original design, was adding these sort of accent marks on the legs. So you know what? I think we are gonna do that. By the way, I'm actually curious, what do you guys call these like little markings on like a character's butt? I've always called them accent marks in all of my videos. I don't know if you guys use a different term, but that is the term that I have always used. So we'll kind of do like, I actually might make this a little bit smaller. Let's go like that. And then let's kind of go like that maybe. Like, do we want to have it extend all the way to part of the foot like this is the million-dollar question that I'm having right now. So that's one thing we can do. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the tail as well. And then I might do kind of the same thing maybe with the hands possibly. I'm thinking maybe what I'll do is make the underside of the hand this sort of lighter gray color. I don't know, it still just feels kind of empty. Because like I want to add more, but at the same time, I don't want to over design as well. You know what I might do? I think pirates, or at least pirate outfits that I've seen, usually have like some sort of like cloth that kind of goes like around their waist. It's not really like a belt, but just kind of like a, I don't know if they just like wrap like a shirt or something around their waist, but it looks like something that would be kind of like tied like right here. So let me add that real quick. I want to see what that looks like. So yeah, it would be kind of something that would look a little like this. And yeah, I think it just kind of adds just like a little bit of something else. I think it was looking still a little kind of empty, but I wouldn't add any more than this. I think this is perfect. But yeah, I think this is what I'm gonna go with as the final redesign. So what did we do differently? We beefed this character up, because if you're gonna be a great white shark, you gotta be a great white intimidating presence. We also added a little bit more pirate accessories as well. And we also changed up the colors just a little bit. I also noticed that there were these little side fins on the original design. I decided to not include those. If you really want to have them, then by all means go for it. I just personally thought it might just be better for just having the one big shark fin on top of the head. So that is what I decided to go with. What do you guys think? Did I do good? Did I do bad? You can let me know down in the comments. Thank you, Metal Fan, for submitting this character. And on to the next one. Alrighty, our third character comes from Bibble, and they have submitted Casey the Hedgehog, aka Project K4S3Y. Which I am just now realizing is made to look like it spells Casey, which I think is actually really clever. And Bibble, by the way, is a channel member. If you become one of my channel members, you have a better chance of being selected for one of these videos in the future. Just so you know. Casey is aged around 8 to 10 years old and is a quiet, emotional, and curious prototype who tries hard to act tough like Shadow, but can't fully hide her feelings. She bottles up her emotions during missions, craves affection, especially hugs and physical comfort, because she was never meant to receive any. Oh my god, that's so sad. Created by GUN using leftover DNA from the Ark explosion, Casey was designed to be a smaller, more obedient version of Shadow, their improved ultimate life form. But their experiment failed when she developed too much emotion and curiosity. Raised like a soldier instead of a child, she was taught only to obey and suppress her feelings. GUN lied to her, claiming Shadow volunteered to help make her. Now Casey struggles to understand who she is, why she exists, and why she feels so strongly. P.S. Her shoes are supposed to be like shoes that can turn into roller skates. Now, this is just a personal preference of mine, and you can disagree with me if you want to, but I am kind of just getting tired of seeing the whole failed experiment trope with Sonic OCs. I feel like it just kind of gets old after a while, and so many OCs have that as part of their backstory. Again, that is just a personal opinion of mine, so if you do not want to change your backstory, you do not have to. Again, that is just my personal opinion. Overall, I think you have a pretty solid start. I definitely am biased towards the purple. That's my favorite color, so anything involving a purple color palette is gonna get a thumbs up in my book. I know you submitted a couple different outfits that Casey has. I just went with this one because it was a digital art piece and I could kind of clearly see what you had in mind for colors. I think if Casey is meant to be aged around 8 to 10 years old, I might give them a bit of a different outfit. I feel like this, at least this outfit right here, is kind of something I can envision like a teenager kind of wearing, aside from maybe the roller skate shoes. I think something along the lines of the green shirt and blue skirt outfit that you had might be a better option, but I might try a couple different things out still just to see what might be better. I'm also looking at the shape of the quills up here, and I think the shapes are a little too random. I'm trying to think of like if I were to look at this character from like the side angle or from the back angle, what that might look like. And I think with this sort of quill shape going on, it's kind of hard to tell what that might look like, so I might change that as well. There might be some other things that I decide along the way, but why don't we get to sketching and see what we come up with. One thing I forgot to mention too also, I think since also, again, she's like 8 to 10, I kind of want to give her a bit more kind of like a cream or a tails sort of sized body also, just to kind of communicate that a little bit better. All right, so what am I thinking in terms of hair? That is a great question. It looks like you kind of had some bangs going here, so I might try something kind of like that. Maybe making these bangs a little bit longer might be kind of cool. Like maybe something that kind of looks like this. And then what if maybe we do something kind of like a mix between Surge and Amy, where like we have the hair kind of curl forward like this. I don't know. Now that I look at that though, I'm not really sure if that's really gonna look that good. You know what could be good? What if maybe we try something kind of like a Sally style haircut? I don't know why I just stopped at hair, a Sally style haircut. And then maybe instead of it kind of just going back and then just kind of hanging down, what if maybe instead it kind of came back and then maybe it was actually kind of wrapped in like a ponytail? That could kind of look a little better. I feel like that could also really match like sort of the age range that we're looking at as well. I think that could look kind of good. Now for an outfit, kind of leads me to wonder, what if we do something, I don't know, maybe kind of like an Agnes from like Despicable Me, where like maybe it's like a t-shirt and like overall combo, or maybe instead of like overalls, what if it's like, isn't there like something that's kind of like, it's like an overall plus like a skirt thing? I swear, I think I've seen one of my little cousins wear one of these before. I just don't remember what they're called. But yeah, maybe something like this, and then with a t-shirt underneath. I don't know, I feel like that kind of just like matches like more of the personality that you were trying to go for. So we're gonna try it. We're gonna try it out. And we're gonna see what we think. And then for these kind of skate shoe looking things, I'm kind of thinking something similar to what you have. So maybe they got like the tongue in like the front right here, and it kind of comes down, and then maybe it kind of does like a tails sort of thing in the front right here. And then why not? We'll add a little star like you had in your original design. And then I just Googled what roller kicks were just so I knew what exactly they should look like at the bottom. So if that's the case, I'm gonna add a couple little spots right here where the wheels would kind of be. So I guess one wheel would go there, the other would kind of go right here. Or that kind of looks a little crowded though. I don't know, because since Sonic feet are kind of built a little different from human feet, we might do it so that maybe it's just like one wheel on one side and then another wheel on the other side maybe. One thing that might look cool is, what if maybe we also have a little bit of like, again, sort of like what Cream sort of has, and I think Vanilla even also has this also, where they have this kind of like little, I don't know, there's like a little part of like their hair. Is this technically hair? I don't know what this would technically be, but they have like a little pointed part of like their face or hair on like each side. So I think that might look kind of nice. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like this. I think this is looking pretty good. Let me just add the rest of the face now. I think I might have spread those pupils out a little too far. It's looking a little derpy. Oh yeah, I like that a lot better. This character's so adorable. Oh my gosh. I like how this one turned out. All right, let me outline and color it because I can't really think of anything else that I want to add. So yeah, time to outline and color. All right, so now we're moving on to coloring. And one thing I also wanted to add was, since she was made with the leftover DNA from the Arc explosion, I thought it might be cool to maybe give her like an arm marking, kind of like Shadow has, just to kind of sort of tie that into her backstory. And looking at these colors, I feel like this purple might just be a little too dark. I might want to bump it up just a little bit. Like maybe something around like right there could be good. Maybe something a little bit, maybe faded a little bit. Yeah, something maybe kind of like that. What if we switch these two? Make that the white and then make all this blue. I think, you know what I might try? Hold on, let me do a thing. I kind of want to add some stripes to the shirt. 1 stripe, 2 stripe, 3 stripes, you're out at the old ball game. Kind of like it, just kind of adds another little design element to kind of add a little bit more visual interest, in my honest opinion. I think I'm gonna go with this right here. So what do we change differently? I wanted to maybe try something different with the quills. The quills were kind of in sort of like this sort of random pattern. So I thought maybe doing something kind of like a hairstyle might actually look pretty cool. And I think it does. I wanted to change up the outfit just a little bit to sort of match the character's personality, at least I think a little bit better. I feel like it kind of captures what you were trying to go for. And of course, as usual, I like to play around with different colors with my redesigns just to see if something else looks a little bit better. But for the most part, the colors are actually pretty much the same. It's just they're kind of switched around to different parts, if that makes sense. Well, this is the redesign that I'm going with. How do you guys think I did? You guys can let me know down in the comments. Bibble, I hope I did your girl justice. And let's move on to our last character. Alrighty, our final character comes to us from King Akuma, and they have submitted Daiquiri the Rabbit. She is a fisherman, or I guess fisherwoman in this case, likes ocean fishing the most, and she's a little ditzy and clueless about most things, likes fruity drinks, good at first aid, and can name almost any fish. She is indeed buddies with Big the Cat. I could definitely see that, especially with the fishing vibes. I also kind of like, not just the fishing vibes, but also like the tropical vibes with Daiquiri as well. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of this sort of bang hairstyle. I do like the little sundress though, and I also do like, it looks like the ears are kind of tied back into a ponytail, which I actually think is pretty cool looking. It's probably very painful to have your ears tied like that, but you know what? Sonic characters make it work. I will say I would probably raise the tie a bit higher just because this might just be me personally, but I kind of lost the ears in the background a little bit. They almost kind of looked like, I don't know, maybe like part of her body or like something. I don't know. It kind of just made it look like that she didn't have ears because the tie was so low. So I would raise that up a little bit. And then I think these are closed-toed shoes. I would probably opt to maybe give her some sandals to kind of match the sort of tropical fisher woman kind of vibe. Plus, Big also wears sandals, so you know what? They can be sandal buddies together also while they're fishing. And I may also change the fur color a bit. Especially since their name is daiquiri, and when I hear daiquiri, my mind goes to strawberry daiquiris, like the drink. So maybe having her fur be like a pink color instead might be a little better. But we'll play around with some different colors, and yeah, I might think of some other things, but let's get to sketching. I will say I am definitely appreciating the tropical vibes a bit more today, especially with this blizzard that's happening outside right now. I am just so done with snow. I need it to be summer, please. It's like, I thought we were done with the snow, and then I checked the news, and they were like, oh, surprise, there's a blizzard coming. Prepare for 2 more feet of snow. My God, can you guys hear that wind? That literally just scared me so bad. Oh my God, are my windows gonna break? Brother, this is not good. We living in Holosko right now. So yeah, like I said, I think if the ponytail was a bit higher, and we just kind of have the ears maybe come down, maybe like yay far, maybe something like this might be a little better. And then again, I think the sandal route is the way to go. Matches the vibe a little bit better. I just realized I also gave sandals to the shark OC earlier, Scar. Am I starting to have a appreciation for sandals with Sonic characters? Because this is 2 OCs in one video now, and then 2 of my other Sonic OCs also wear sandals. I don't know, guys. Something about flip-flops and Sonic OCs just kind of looks cool, I guess. One thing I also kind of want to do too is I think I'm gonna keep these like little beads here. I'll probably just add like maybe like 3, maybe like 1, 2, and then 3. I like the little bead bracelet too. I feel like not just Big, but I feel like Daiquiri would also get along with my sort of tropical OC Lasai. She can be fishing on the boat while Lasai's catching some waves. I could totally see that. I'm also going to try my best to draw a fisher pole. I remember when I drew Big not too long ago, I did draw his fishing rod, but that's more like a fishing rod, and Daiquiri kind of has more like a fishing pole. It's basically just like a very long stick with a string at the end. Or fishing line, I should say. Today we're gonna play hooky. Does this look dangerous? I'm not sure how I feel about these little like hair parts here as well. I would maybe just want to keep it sort of like the other rabbits that we see, like vanilla and cream. So probably just do something kind of like that. But I may add a little bit of color. Actually, you know what I might do? What if we did something more kind of like a jet thing, where it's like it's a little bit longer, and then there's also like a little bit of like a break right here, and then you do the 2 color thing. I think that could actually look pretty cool. So we're gonna do that. So we'll do the same thing right there. Add a little bit of color right there. Yeah, I kind of like that. I think it looks pretty good. And then now that I look at it, I think I might add just like a little bit of hair right here. I don't know if I'll make it the same shape as the original design. I think I might try something a little bit different. Like what if maybe instead it's just kind of a bit more like a swirlier kind of hair tuft. It kind of akin to vanilla. Although now that I look at it, this basically is just Vanilla's hair. So I don't know. It just works for bunny characters, I feel like. I don't know if that's just because we're so used to seeing Vanilla's design that it just fits, but it just does. I don't know. And then one last thing I kind of want to try that I think might be kind of cute is, you know those like little flower pins that sometimes you see people wearing? And you can get like tropical flower pins or just like regular flower pins. Oh, it's just like a little cute little thing to add. Oh, I kind of like that. That's actually kind of cute. All right, I think this is looking pretty good. Can't really think of anything else that I would want to add. So I think now we can outline and color it. Okay, so like I said earlier, when I hear the name daiquiri, my mind kind of goes to like a strawberry daiquiri. So I originally was thinking maybe a pink color for the fur might be cool. But I'm also realizing we already have pink on the inner ears as well. So maybe that might not be the best choice. Maybe what if it's like the same or almost the same color as the fishing rod, but maybe add just like a little bit more yellow, like maybe a color kind of like this. I kind of like that. That's not too bad. And then maybe we take the original fur color, make that the color of the fishing pole so that doesn't blend in too much with their body color. And then maybe make this that color. Okay, we're kind of getting somewhere. I definitely want to still have the lashes be dark though, so we're gonna change that. What if maybe we take the flower and maybe the flower is just more of like a darker pink? Yeah, kind of like that. That's not too bad. Or again, my favorite color is purple. I kind of like the pink a little bit better. I might do that. So maybe, yeah, let's do that. And then I'm gonna actually make these red beads a bit more of like that darker color that was on the inside of the original design. Okay, yeah, I'm kind of vibing with this. It's given like strong Easter vibes almost, like tropical Easter vibes is what I'm getting right now, and I kind of like it. I'm gonna try my best to freehand one of these tropical flowers, and a couple of those things sticking out like that. And I'll draw another petal right here. Maybe just one more little petal right there. There you go. That is my attempt at recreating a flower. But yeah, I think this is gonna do it for this redesign. I think this is looking pretty good. So what do we do differently? I wanted to raise the ears in a ponytail up a little bit just to kind of make it so that it doesn't get sort of lost behind the body. I also wanted to play around with some different colors as well. Also to fit more of like the chill fisher sort of big vibes, wanted to give them some sandals instead of some closed-toed shoes. I think that kind of fits the vibe a little bit better. Just kind of wanted to lean into sort of that aesthetic, especially with the flower pin. But yeah, overall, I think this looks pretty good. What do you guys think? You guys can let me know down in the comments. And thank you to King Akuma for submitting your character. Well, there you go, guys. Redesigning Sonic OCs Part 8 is in the books. Thank you again to everyone for submitting their OCs for this video. If you want to submit your Sonic OC, you can share your Sonic OC on my community page. Just make sure that you put redesign me at the beginning of your post so that I know that you're looking to get your character redesigned. If you guys want to see the other parts of this series, I have a playlist right there. You can check out all the other parts of the Redesigning Sonic OCs series. If you guys want to see more of these, please hit the like button, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and consider becoming a channel member. And that's about it. See ya.